Open range 427 BHS here at Highland RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is a big trailer with a lot of big features. I'm going to do my best to do a good job of covering all that, but there is a lot to cover here, so I am going to have to move along quickly, like the fact that this has a very generous pass-through storage space. You see that handy, easily accessible battery disconnect right there. Your baggage doors here, they are magnetically latched, so this is a true one-hand system, and that's all there is to it. It's about as easy as they come. Open ranges have full, true 2-year warranty. A lot of manufacturers say, well, most of the big important stuff on our trailer has a 1-year warranty. Yeah, it might, like the refrigerator might have a 2-year warranty from the refrigerator builder, but do you really want to spend this kind of money on a fifth wheel whose refrigerator has a better warranty than the fifth wheel? That's why I like Open Range. This is a product I can stand behind. Now you see the stabilizer jacks here. This is a wide body product. The sun's at like the worst possible angle directly behind this thing, but if I back up, maybe you'll kind of get the sense this is a big girl. She is extra wide with extra deep super slide here. The entire coach is 100-inch wide body with 42-inch slides versus 96-inch standard body with standard 36-inch slides. That means in English that this trailer is 10 inches wider in the living room. It is nearly a foot bigger where it counts. Also, the construction is superior from industry standard. If you walk up to the sides of the slide, this is an indicator, not a rule. Not, you know, if the fifth wheel doesn't have this, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means there's things you got to look for. Pound on this, just thump on it, and you can hear how this is solid right here. Most products, it is not. It is a hung glass fiber, or a hung fiberglass wall right there. What that means is there could be absolutely anything under it. Now, on this angle here, I do want to point out a couple things. First of all, you see how nicely they finished this? Oops, I got a door flipping open on me here in the wind. It is quite windy today, by the way. The big inverter right here, this has a residential 23 cubic foot stainless steel refrigerator and freezer. That means that this thing needs a minimum 1,000 watt inverter to work properly. If you're looking at a fifth wheel with a residential fridge and it has a 400 watt minimum possible inverter, you don't want that unit because it's not going to do a good job. The other thing, full automatic leveling system, so you push a button and it levels, and you notice how this door opens down. That's one of those just intelligent design features that Open Range puts in. Because the door can't open up, it would run into that slide out the way I run my head into things all the time, like doorways, and I run my head into everything. I'm tall and I'm clumsy, and that's just the nature of the beast. But so that you avoid my idiocy, they have this door flipped down so it's easier to get in and out. Now you'll also find in here a fully enclosed privatized docking center. You can run your cables up through that little black port in the bottom and then close, lock the door so the neighborhood punk doesn't come through and pull your black tank valve when you're not paying attention. I know a person, his name is Mr. Highland, that's happened to him twice. Super fun, very, very awesome way to end your afternoon. Dumb little things too make all the difference, like the Furrion electric system here. This is 50 amp, and you need that to run the 2 big ACs on this unit. This has a 30,000 BTU air system, by the way. Racetrack ducted, double insulated. There is no better AC system on the market. I could go on. But the dumbest little things, this little indicator light, this tells you if you have good or bad power coming into the RV from the post at the park. That's a brilliant feature that is more common now than before, but still not standard across the board, and a big water heater here. So this is that extra deep slide out I was telling you about, and on a 2-dimensional video, you can't get a sense of 3-dimensional depth. Again, this is the type of fifth wheel you need to see in person. This video is here to give you a good idea. You need to come see it in person. We have 2 different types of window systems going on. Right here, we have a frameless bonded window pairing. These are also thermal pane windows the way we equip this unit, but remember the video might be different from the one that we have in stock. Typically on 3X models, we do put the thermal pane windows on our 3X models though, and more on the insulation later. Now on the sidewall here, you have a traditional sliding window pane. So why are there 2 different types of windows? Well, this window looks awesome, and the sun will never cause a frame to degrade and look garbagey over time because there is no frame. Plus, the seal is hidden under a UV tinted privacy window pane. Whereas over here, we have slider windows for maximum airflow on a flat, non-aerodynamic surface. And though normally we say non-aerodynamic as though it's bad, when you're parked and you want cross breeze, it's a good thing. The other thing is, this window tilts out in a jalousie fashion. You can use this in the rain. That you cannot. And you don't want this window tilted out and then run your slide in, rip your window off, and have a bad day. That's not good for anybody. So I said more on insulation. We have a fully enclosed, double insulated, forced air heated underbelly. This is a 0 to 100 degree rated product, true 4 seasons, and unfortunately that 4 seasons word is something that's just terribly abused in the industry today. One of the other ways they accomplish their higher insulation rating is they have thicker walls. This is called 3X because it has 3-inch thick walls versus industry standard 2-inch in this product segment. So this literally has 50% more wall structure and insulation than basically anything else on the market. Now there's other fine products out there, but there's only one 3X. These are the differences. That's why I'm pointing these things out. You know, we've got plywood, tongue and groove floor and roof decking, fully walkable. 5/8 on the floor, 3/8 on the roof with aluminum roof rafters. If you look up at the roof line, you will notice up here that the roof line does actually curve over the side, so you don't have a corner seam, you have a side seam. That's a very strong structural improvement. This is one of the only two of this type of floor plan I am aware of, though there's probably one I've missed here and there. There's tons of manufacturers who make tons of trailers, but a double bunkhouse slide with a full outside kitchen. This is a hard thing to come by. Now, Open Range always takes everything one notch over the top, and that's why we're also getting the nice microwave out here. And notice that even outside, we have full hidden hinge cabinet doors with hardwood doors. These are full hardwood doors, not just a hardwood perimeter, but insert as well. We do get hot and cold water here. You can splash the grandkids with it. And even these drawers here are full plywood constructed. And to show you how big they are, I left the microwave tray in here because we all know that's about the size of a dinner plate to give you a point of perspective. This is a bath and a half model. Now, the two primary reasons people are in and out of this RV are for the fridge and the toilet. Guess what? I got both those covered without you tracking dirty little feet through the whole RV. Now it's just a non-issue, complete non-issue. There's a good look at the ground control leveling system. Now if you also look, you see that you have those strong arm stabilizer bars even back here. This is the most stable coach when you reach your campsite of anything else on the market. Now, neat thing they do, they don't put on a screen door. Instead, they spend that money putting this giant window here. There is a privacy shade, by the way. But this window does have a sliding pane. So it's just one less thing that you have to deal with, one less thing to maybe break, go wrong, any of that. Stepping inside here, close the door behind me. One of the things I've always liked about Open Range is you walk in, flick, light switch, right by the door. And that's right where it belongs. Now, this is a very large coach, and I've got very bright ambient light coming in through the window, so I'm probably going to have some light darkness contrast problems as I go through here. Please bear with me. So this decor is called chocolate. There's a couple different ones, and this is one of the main differences on what we have in stock versus what you see in this video. The next one we have in stock may be the little more blacker leatherette, whereas this is that nice saddle brown type leatherette. The U-Lounge here is one of those options I was telling you about. There's also a dinette option. We sell both equally well. It's just a matter of personal preference. I think this is the more flexible option, but it's definitely not the more traditional. And sometimes that is hard for people to understand. They prefer the traditional setup, but this is a non-traditional product. I like to equip it that way. You see that both sides of the sofa have recliner ends. And now under those, there's actually little tables that stow away that go in these two little black plugs right there. You have two individual tables. So you can use this like a dinette and a lounge, or you can have two dinettes, a full lounge like this, and the middle section's a hide-a-bed. This is a hide-a-bed in the middle that flips open. There's actually even storage below it back there. So there are more flexible options in here than any other fifth wheel in this floor planner class. And this is a true walk-in slide-out. This slide-out has to be about 7 foot tall. You will not hit your head. Even if I had hair, which I obviously don't, and I'm losing, you would you would not hit your head in here. Because the slide is extra tall and extra deep, they were able to give true overhead storage the entire length of the slide-out. Now, to give you an idea, this again is a very viable... Here, hold on, it's a little too dark. Kick on my little flashlight. You can see that this goes like right up to my elbow here. So this is very good storage. Again, all hidden hinge cabinetry, all hardwood doors. What I like about hidden hinge cabinetry is if this door does manage to pop open a little bit going down the road, it closes itself. You have to make this thing purposely open because once it gets past a 45, or until it gets to a 45, it wants to close itself. That's what I like about it. Backing up here a little bit, This is all big pantry space. Let me open that up actually, just to give you an idea. So we've got a very nice, easy access, low pantry. You don't have to reach way up here to get to your storage. It's down here where it belongs. And we're suffering with only, I don't know, roughly a 50-inch Furrion ultra-thin flat screen, high definition, with a Furrion electronic system here. They use all Furrion electronics for a couple reasons. One, it's the most rugged, highly tested electronic system used on the market today. There are exactly 0 other opportunities to prove that wrong. There's no one else that tests the way that they do at Furrion. Secondly, when they do all Furrion stuff, they have a smart sync system. You're watching TV. You pop in a DVD on a rainy day for the grandkids or something like that. The TV will automatically flip over to DVD mode. You don't need to monkey around with a remote to try to change inputs and sources and every other darn thing. It's just simple, stupid, and easy, like it's supposed to be. Here's a cutaway of the wall. This is what a 3-inch wall looks like. So you see this blue line right here? This is where most manufacturers end the wall. Open range continues an additional inch, and what that gives you is again, 50% more structure and insulation in your sidewalls, which is usually the weak point in your insulation in an RV. Kitchen amenities in an open range are pretty much the best. They have the best kitchens, and that's a big, bold statement, but their kitchens straight up and down are awesome. They just rock. All Corian countertops are standard in this. You see the recessed stainless steel sink. You see the nice residential type hardware here. This is the kind of stuff that you want in your RV. Listen real close here. That's real metal. It's not just like a painted plastic nickel or anything like that. Again, we have optioned in the stainless steel appliance bundle with that 23 cubic foot residential refrigerator and freezer. But if I come over here, you'll see I have to get drawers out of the way to get to the drawers. But even awkward storage spaces like this become convenient with an open range because they bring storage to you, not the other way. Now up here you'll see extra little appliance pockets and outlets here for extra things like that. Convection microwave, I believe that's an option. I don't think I've ever stocked an open range without it. And extra things like the flip down storage down here, where normally there'd just be a dead pocket for most brands. They still put whatever storage they can in these. Moving back to the bunkhouse area, in the RV business they call this a French door. I don't know why, but a cloudy glass door they call a French door for some reason, in case you're ever curious. Now you walk back here, and this is one of the main focal points of this floor plan. We have this big wide open double side bunkhouse with this huge floor to ceiling storage space here. A couple big dresser drawers on bottom with some massive closet space above, and you see again everything is all plywood box constructed. Now they did a really good job. Did you see I was able to fully open that even with this ladder here? And this ladder does not impede the use of the lower bunk. So you don't have to wait for the lower kid to get out of bed for the upper kid to get out of bed. You can leave it like this overnight. You could even still get in this very generously sized closet. It is very easy to get in and out of here. So this is very good to use as obviously a bunkhouse, but like a guest room or a second bedroom or something like that. I know sometimes there are some couples who maybe have like sleep apnea problems and snoring issues, and they need separate sleeping spaces. So you see every bunk has its own window. Every bunk has, actually this top bunk here has 2 lights. You can see one up there and one up there. And this top bunk over here, it does fold away so that you can use this like a lounge during the day. That's effectively like a jackknife sofa. This can fold flat, but they did not tuft the back. They didn't make it puffy so that it does lay flat. It's actually a very nice bunk with bonus storage below, and that never hurt. And check that out. Extra little power outlets everywhere they could. Near every sleeping space you'll find that. Over here is the, I guess, the bunkhouse entertainment center. This is a table that actually can flip up if you want it to. I have it in the down position currently just for mobility's sake to move around here. You're perfectly positioned to put a TV against the wall right there. More storage everywhere you go. The fixed bunk up here, again with the nice little, I love doing that. I've always had a fascination for the way you can draw patterns in these little teddy bear type of prints. And this lower bunk here just folds up flat here. I tell you when I can show you. Just folds up flat against the wall, and this is how it travels. so that it doesn't crush against this closet when you're going down the road. And notice that they even finished it under here. Take little detail times. Lift up a bunk mattress from manufacturers, and do you see like raw exposed plywood and luan, or do you see something finished? That's a good indicator that this is a manufacturer that takes time to do everything right, not just what you can see, but the things you can't as well. And again, bath and a half model. This is what we saw from the outside, just a quick peek from the inside. There's a sliding pocket door there for privacy. Moving forward, this is where that extra width and everything comes in handy. The entire U-dinette is fully encapsulated in that extra deep slide. Normally 6 inches of that would stick out here. And with the extra 4 inches of living space, we now have an extra 10 inches to walk around this island. So we have lots of floor space here. We talked about the air conditioning being racetrack ducted. What that means is that the AC system actually wraps and loops all the way around so that you never get pressure buildup. It always swings around and swoops around. You never have that backflow. I do like too the little toe kick at the bar. And with this overhang here, you can really just belly right up to this thing. That was a very beneficial thing for me, you know, even just a couple months ago, but I've lost about 40 pounds. Not looking for applause or anything, so I don't really need to belly up to anything now. Neat idea with this floor plan. There's a lot of these double bunkhouse slide models that have nowhere comfortable to sit other than here. They don't have any primary seating space in the living room. That's why they put in this pair of very lightweight Euro recliners. They're very comfortable. They're lightweight. They spin, they rock, they recline. You see you got the little kick out down here. They do everything. They just do it at half the weight. I think I mentioned, I believe I did, we do tend to put thermal pane windows on these things. That is worth talking about again if not. And that extra mirror right here next to this window, it helps the sense of this being bigger and wide open and whatnot. There is a wall controller, by the way, for this big Max Air fan that you see up here, so that if you're cooking and whatnot inside, you're not going to cook yourself, you're just cooking your food. Moving forward. The little coat closet right when you walk in. I forget to talk about that a lot of times. That is a very beneficial thing. It's at an awkward angle for a camera to try to get to, but it's in a very organic place for use. Little detail stuff, like they don't want this bathroom door flying open, so they put a little door stop down there, so that's not an issue. Bathroom in this thing is awesome. Tons of legroom. This is a similar bathroom you see all over Open Range because it's once you build the perfect thing, you just don't need to improve it, you know. Again, one switch, pow, all the lights come right on in this thing. We have a one-piece self-reinforced seamless shower. So what that means is that I can come in here and just stomp and kick all over this thing. I've been told that I'm making so much noise when I stomp and kick on this that it's overloading the microphone. That's because I'm really wailing on that sucker. And you know, it can take the abuse. You see, we have awesome storage over here. They went with a 50-inch shower as opposed to a 60, though it does still have the seating area. So if you need to sit to shave your legs or anything like that, or if you're just mobility impaired, it's nice to sit to bathe. But we still have all this drawer space over here that a 60-inch shower cannot match, with a nice little appliance shelf right here for blow dryers and shavers and all that stuff. For space reasons, they do use the bowl style sink right here, because if they used a normal style sink, you would never be able to walk through here. People ask all the time, why do they do stuff like that? Well, you have to think of how A affects B affects C. And a little shelf right here, just a spot to put your toothbrushes and whatnot, genius. It's an easy thing to miss from the manufacturer. Up here, we have a true king bed. Let me back up. The thing's huge. 70 by 80 inch true king bed, storage below, pillow top, very comfy. And what's nice is they built this thing with a king bed in mind. So there's room to walk around it. Manufacturers will often build with a queen and then let you shove a king in its place. But when you do that and you gain an extra 10 inches of width, you suddenly can't walk around the bed anymore. That's not a problem in an Open Range because they make smart decisions. We have a fully, wow, I forgot I left my light on. That was blinding. We have a fully walk-in bedroom up here, and you see the dome ceiling. I'm not even if I stand all the way against the edge, I'm not in any sort of danger of my head bashing anything, which is funny because I've told you how clumsy I am. So that's one of the things I appreciate about an Open Range. You see these extra drawers down here in the closet? Does a couple things. First of all, I've never, ever had anyone trade something in because it had, quote, too much storage. So extra storage is always good. Secondly, it raises the floor of the closet and creates an additional shelf for you to use, where normally there wouldn't be one. And we still have an awesome closet space in there. Little detail things again. We have a positive latch system here that we can lock these doors in place so they don't fly open going down the road. This is washer dryer prepped, capable of handling a stackable if you are so inclined. And you see the extra bedroom TV here, still a Furrion. They didn't scale down and use a cheaper component just because they're up here. But you know, detail stuff. Real hardwood. That kind of thing makes a difference. Extra large drawers. Little charging center here for phones and things. Now I got to turn my light back on. Hey, there we go. So everything that matters is here. What's incredible is usually floor plans like this come in about 14.4 to 14.8 in weight. Despite the fact this is, I'm not saying this is an ultra, like God no. This thing weighs what, 13,470. She's not small, but it's not as heavy as a lot of the big ones like this, and still has wider body, taller ceiling, better insulation, deeper slides. It has it all. That is why I love open range. It's everything every time, and it's done the right way. And that's why they're able to have double the warranty. This has a double length warranty, and I mean, what more could you want? That's why this is such a big seller. We have a hard time keeping this one in stock, so if you see it, if you're interested, call fast, because I can't promise it'll be here tomorrow. 800-256-5196. Highland RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.